This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
Hello, listener. Look at whoever is next to you. Now back to us. Now back to the person next to you. Now back to us. Sadly, they aren't us. But if they stop listening to true crime podcasts and switch to Baconsale, they could smell like us. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on an episode about mascot death matches. What's in your hand? Back at us. We have it. It's a weapon to kill those two mascots you hate. Look again. The weapons are now Baconsalia Speedos. Anything is possible when you and your friends listen to Baconsale. I'm on a horse.
Woo! One take. Spicy.
Welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Zack.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our last episode, our trilogy part 2 tiering, the sequel to the first trilogy tiering.
Yeah, it was the middle.
In the part 2.
It was the middle. It was the bridge episode. Big things coming in the third one, probably.
Oh, the scary conclusion.
Or a lot more of the same. One of the two. Shout out to KP Brown, who said the bad Divergent series deserves a little credit. And I do agree with this comment. Realizing how bad it was, they did stop at 3. I mean, sometimes you just got to quit while you're behind, you know? Also, Jonathan Vascar comments that he's like, well, come on, we should have had some semblance of an ending. And while, you know, I do agree with that, if I cared.
Yep.
And then Evil Dead gets a shout out here by saying, KP Brown says, I love Evil Dead for giving rise to such wonderful B-movie actor Bruce Campbell episode. Mm-hmm. Do we need to do that?
Bruce Campbell episode?
I would love
Just
that.
like, hey,
but then do we have to watch Briscoe County Jr.?
All of your cameos in
on DVD.
Spider-Man?
You do?
Yes.
Bro.
Sure.
And then reaching deep into the well of Baconsale lore, Ryan said he would do a cyborg bracket, but he insisted that there would be one robot on there.
Okay.
Little inside jokes from Baconsale.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about today. What are we talking about today, Zach?
We're having a death match. It's been a long time since we had one of these.
It's been a long time since we've had a death match.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard one of these before, here's how it works.
Well, you know how we had a couple, like, I think a couple weeks back, we had a couple ridiculous episodes.
Yeah.
And then we kind of had one semi-serious one.
Yeah.
This is not one of the serious
Yeah,
ones.
but this is like an in-depth, not serious one.
It really is. Joel, keep going. Tell us about it.
So, before we've done things like Disney villains, Disney heroes, Disney sidekicks, and so this has nothing to do with Disney.
No.
But what we're doing this time is brand mascots. Commercial mascots.
Yeah.
Brand mascots. Whatever we're going to
Because
call
think
them.
about it. I mean, like, I hope the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha know about brand mascots now.
Some
because
of these, I wonder.
they were all part of the commercials that, you know, your Gen Xers and honestly, maybe even baby boomers, but Gen Xers and the millennials know very well because we watch broadcast television.
Yes.
Now I kind of wonder how people get their commercials.
They don't. They're
YouTube?
ads on social media.
But do you think, Zach, tell us, as a young,
Yeah.
do you see the same mascots?
No.
Not
I
at
don't
all.
I don't see ads.
I know that's things. I don't think a lot of people watch ads or they skip over them as soon as they can.
No.
And
If I have anything recorded, I skip over it. If it's on
Okay,
I
so what
pay
is it?
for YouTube.
So basically,
I
you're
don't have to see
going
it.
through the aisles of Walmart, and that's how you're seeing these mascots, maybe?
Yeah, I'm
on
like,
a box of something.
Oh, the Cookie Crisp dog is different.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how I know.
Well, and I also feel like when I watch something with ads in it, it's the same 2 ads over and over again every time. I'm like, okay, we get it. Move on. Do something else. But I don't think many kids are going to see these because they don't watch Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, I guess we give up. Let's move on.
By the way, we have 64 players.
Yes. And you can actually see our entire bracket at baconsale.com. You can download it yourself, play with your friends or your family, hand it around at work, cause some contention because we have a ton of mascots on there.
Like it could be a cereal mascot versus a fast food mascot. And this is going to get weird.
I think these are predominantly food related.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah.
Or they may try to save you money on your life insurance or your car insurance. Oh, spoiler alert.
Well, let's jump into it, shall we?
By the way, this is a very random sampling. This is a very random matchup.
Yes, we got the order. We tried to pick well-known ones.
Yeah.
And then we did a like season 1 style Baconsale where we just kind of threw them randomly on the bracket. No real rhyme or reason, just to see what happened.
There's one very clear rhyme and reason, and it's not family friendly, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh.
Now I'm wondering.
Hey, remind us when it happens.
All right. Oh, you'll know.
Or maybe don't.
You'll know. All right. Our first matchup. And again, this is not what's better. This is what would win in a cage match where the area is whatever Kent.
I will determine it.
Whatever suits Kent's argument.
Thank you.
Traditionally,
death.
this has been like a cage match where they're put in a little box boxing ring.
A
type thing,
Hunger
like
Games arena.
and a cage is put over them.
A Hunger Games arena.
But then
I think-
Kent like morphs it into whatever he wants.
A
it to
New
be.
York City apartment.
It's think of it like a Smash Brothers level.
Yes.
Where it's just basic. Very basic.
Very basic.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, first matchup. The Kool-Aid Man
Oh yeah, from Kool-Aid.
and the Vlasic Stork.
From Vlasic Pickles.
He even had the little pickle cigar. there.
Yeah.
So Kool-Aid Man is fighting the Vlasic stork. By the way, the Kool-Aid Man is a fun-loving, gigantic, and joyful anthropomorphic pitcher filled with the original flavor of Kool-Aid, which is cherry.
Oh.
And the Vlasic stork, he's a stork with a hat and a vest, and he speaks in a style reminiscent of Groucho Marx and holds a pickle like a cigar.
Yeah, by the way, the stork's name is Jovny, and he's been the mascot since 1974.
Do you know why he's the mascot?
I found out from this research. Go on.
Because he's merging the stork baby mythology with the notion that pregnant women have an above average appetite for pickles. In fact, Vlasic marketed themselves as the pickle pregnant women crave. After all, who's a better pickle expert than a stork?
Zach, I know we don't want to spend a ton of time on this first show because it's going to get from 64 to 32, but how much of about their powers and skills do you want to hear about?
I would like to know if they have any, but I have one gigantic question that must be answered that I think you kind of touched on.
Okay.
The Kool-Aid Man. What animates him? Is he a pitcher and he happens to have Kool-Aid, or is the Kool-Aid his life essence?
I think he is the pitcher. And because in the original ones, they actually drew a face on a pitcher and then it started moving around. It wasn't the Kool-Aid inside, it was the pitcher. It was the condensation, meaning the glass had the energy. The life.
Zach, did you know that in the commercials, if you pour different Kool-Aid in him, he gets different powers? Like, for example, Kool-Aid. He can become a vampire. Ice cool. Ice breath.
Where are you getting this from?
It is from the wiki. Granted, there's some weird wikis out there.
This isn't from his Wikipedia page.
But I did watch a smattering of the old commercials, and they have the weirdest abilities and sports that these mascots like to play.
The Kool-Aid Man is Kirby.
He's
You
quite
just suck
Kirby.
up all the powers.
Well, so basically, what we know about the Kool-Aid Man is he can break through a wall. He's very good at eavesdropping.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had an uncanny timing.
And listen,
Literally break through walls. I don't
some
think
of
a
these
stork can do
mascots,
that.
I'm going based on the animalistic traits because there's not much known about them otherwise. And so, for example, a stork, it eats amphibians, reptiles, and small mammals from the ground in shallow water. They can snap their bill shut in as little as 25 milliseconds. Okay?
What is a stork beak going to do to a glass pitcher?
Not much.
Would you call the Kool-Aid Man shallow water? I mean, this sounds
that's
like
quite, there's a lot of
is it
depth.
too deep for a stork.
Absolutely, there is.
Are storks particularly territorial? Do we know this about them?
I don't, but I
no.
do know the Kool-Aid Man is taking this match for me.
And why?
He's got the strength and the power. The stork, I don't see surviving like a head-on combat.
Agility,
with the Kool-Aid
dude.
Man.
Kool-Aid Man's got no hops. He's got no
The
feet.
dude can run and burst through walls at a moment's notice.
Oh, so he's the Juggernaut?
Do you think he's out? Do you think he's directly outside the wall when they have the conversation?
The
No, he's
Kool-Aid
far
Man.
away.
How fast can the Kool-Aid Man turn around?
Listen,
fast.
anytime you hear someone talking about Kool-Aid or juice, he bursts through a wall. He's like Superman.
Oh, so he's like an insurance risk?
Yeah. So this is how it's
okay.
going to go down. So Joel, I totally agree. And so Kool-Aid Man is going to win, but Kool-Aid Man would show up with a green body filled with pickles and pickle juice inside of him, making the stork crave them because he wants his little cigars. The stork would grab one and the pickle would be marinated with pesticide
Why would it be pesticide if it's an animal?
or poison. It's fine.
Sorry, I was thinking
it's
herbicide.
just straight
You're absolutely
gasoline.
right. Pesticide.
Birdicide, clearly. Okay.
Birds aside,
Birds aside.
Kool-Aid Man wins. Next, we have Sonny the Cuckoo Bird
From Cocoa Puffs.
and the Charmin Bear,
From Charmin toilet paper.
singular.
Well, we're trying to figure out because
There is a family in the commercials.
originally it was just one bear, and then they kind of expanded it to families.
Is this a Mulan situation where we get one familial representative?
Maybe, except for sometimes there's three on purpose. So Sunny as a mascot was introduced in 1962. The Charmin Bear was introduced in 1999. So a little bit newer.
Both anthropomorphic.
Yeah, the
which is
Charmin
word of the
Bears
day.
are red bears that teach their kids to wipe their bums and not leave pieces on their behind.
Pieces of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Behind on their behind, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I mean, pieces in general.
Fun fact, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird, one of his original voices was Larry Kenney, who voiced Lion-O in Thundercats.
Why
So
is he not
Lionel
tough
is the
here at
same
all?
voice as Sonny the Cuckoo Bird. It's weird
Okay.
to think about.
None of that means anything to me.
And the blue bears of the Charmin bears, they're this ultra
Oh, blue
soft
bear. Oh,
family.
they did evolve to blue bears
There's
now, I
blue bear-
guess.
and then the red bears. They have 5 blue bears and 5 red bears. The blue ones are the Charmin Ultra Soft family, and the 5 red ones are the Charmin Ultra Strong family.
Ultra strong is red.
Yeah. So I don't know which one they're going against here, but that's. Are we doing 3 bears against 1 bird? That seems unfair.
No, let's just do one bear.
Speaking from experience, I mean, it really depends on if you're going strong or soft, because one of them holds up better in battle.
Wait, so
if you catch my drift.
Are 3 bears 3 ply? Is that what we're saying
Well, I
here?
think the bear has a roll of toilet paper, and Sonny has a spoon.
If we're taking the animal, bird versus bear, I think that's pretty easy. But you got to look at the context of these. It's literally soft bears versus an insane bird.
And that's it. They're not feral bears. These bears are definitely used to their creature comforts.
They use toilet paper, Joel.
Yeah.
However, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird has anxiety anytime there are Cocoa Puffs around. Sonny loses it.
Well,
He goes ballistic.
He tries to control himself. He has-
but never does. Literally every commercial.
As they keep trying and egging him on, eventually he'll just kind of break and be like, "I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs."
Yeah.
And he'll bounce around.
He'll bounce around.
He's got a hard beak.
Yes.
No, he'll bounce around and get flustered, and I think a bear will wrap him up in a ton of toilet paper and just smother it.
No, I actually saw it going as the bears do wrap him up with toilet paper, but then they start talking about how they're going to crunch his bones, and he hears crunch. It starts going, crunch, like Cocoa Puffs. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Break out,
It's just toilet paper.
peck out their eyes, and
Because they wrapped him in ultra soft.
yeah, not ultra strong.
That would be nice. I would just go to bed. Okay, I can agree with that.
You're just agreeing?
Yeah, I'll just agree with it.
You're not going to let Zach break the tie?
No, I feel good about that.
Yeah, it's sunny.
So the Charmin... the
Charmin bears they're only technically bears. They might as well be teddy bears. Sonny the Cuckoo Bird wins.
I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs!
Next we have Count Chocula
From Count Chocula cereal.
and the Aflac Duck.
Aflac.
What?
Insurance. Affleck.
By the way,
Insurance.
his name is Count Alfred Chocula, and he was first introduced in 1971, and the Aflac Duck has been around since 1999.
I am so excited we found a way to talk about supplemental insurance on Baconsale.
A few times. The Aflac Duck is an American Pekin duck, or Pekin duck without a G, and they're raised primarily for meat. They're actually the friendliest duck, and don't get irritated when you pick them up.
Well, they're meat ducks?
Yeah,
docile meat duck?
They're docile meat ducks.
My band's name in college.
Oh, what kind of music did you guys play?
We actually play jazz. Smooth jazz.
I figured it'd be kazoo.
Nice. Whereas Count Chocula, he is able to shapeshift into a bat, and he's able to control Count Chocula's cereal and supposed immortality.
He's been around a long time.
He's been around a long time. And by the way, he's 7'6".
That's freaky.
Yeah, right.
But weaknesses, he's obviously a vampire, so he's going to be kind of vulnerable to daylight and garlic and a stake through the heart and silver. What are spoons made of? Silver, just saying. And meanwhile,
Oh, please, who has silver spoons?
the Affleck duck, he has a knowledge of insurance policies, and his weaknesses are oil spills and bad Twitter jokes. So the Affleck duck versus Count Chocula. Normally, I believe Count Chocula is a pacifist, but in this regard, I think a chocolate vampire is definitely going to beat a duck.
Well, do you know how it happens?
Barely.
I would say like the duck comes to Transylvania to try to sell chocolate insurance, and maybe they want to have like a sky race or something. But, you know, obviously a human is going, or human or humanoid type like Chocula is going to be a predator to a meat duck. And by the way,
Oh, look, a docile meat duck.
long neck, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, done.
It's a good thing he's not going to any giraffes right now.
Yet.
Count Chocula wins.
Time to go down to the basement for some more hauntingly delicious Count Chocula cereal.
Now we have Ernie Keebler
From Keebler Cookies.
and the Old Spice guy.
From Old Spice.
Oh, this is easy.
The man your man should smell like.
Yeah, so Ernest J. Keebler was created in 1968, whereas the Old Spice guy was released in 2010.
And Ernie, the head elf of Keebler Elves, is the friendliest of the bunch. He wears a green jacket, a white shirt with a yellow tie, a red vest, and floppy shoes. And the Old Spice guy is Hunk.
He doesn't wear
He is.
much.
He doesn't. He wears a towel.
Until he does.
Are we
halfway
talking
through
the
commercial.
original guy, or we're talking Terry Crews, or kind of a hybrid
talking
of
about
both?
Isaiah
geez.
Mustafa. We're
It's
talking
even
If
about
it's
worse.
Terry Crews.
It's even worse if it's Terry Crews. But I think Terry Crews in the Old Spice commercials is Terry Crews. I think when you think Old Spice guy, you think
Isaiah Mustafa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
That's right. He had a great name.
I love about him. He is like a master of deception and illusions.
Yes.
Right?
I mean,
look at
which
him
one? Ernie Keebler or the
No,
Old Spice
actually,
guy?
surprisingly, not the elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old,
Look at him slip through all those scenes, and he can ride a horse backwards.
That's just it. So Ernie Keebler put his strengths as baking and leadership skills, with his weaknesses as logging, because he lives in a tree, and diabetes. And then
not somehow baking inside a tree and not setting it on fire. That's a skill.
magic.
Yeah.
And the Old Spice guy strengths are fast talking, magic skills, because he's able to have diamonds just appear in his hand. And then his weaknesses, body odor.
Yeah, I would say Axe body spray is a rival. Like that would
I can
probably
see
like
that.
make him crumble, kind of like kryptonite.
I mean, that's the weird thing. He's such a handsome man. Those are such good commercials, but at the end of the day, you smell like Old Spice spray. It's not good, man.
Oh. And are we talking about which brands we like more? Because if
We should
it's an
just-
EL Fudge
let's put a big not a
compared to
sponsor
Old Spice
over-
deodorant.
This whole episode, not a sponsor. Let's just say
Okay,
that.
not a sponsor, but EL
I'd
Fudge
rather-
cookies or Old Spice deodorant.
Is it like the EL Fudge to me, or the
I don't
the
like
default?
yellow fudge that much. They have that little fakey taste that I really
I love it.
Your
I love it.
childhood.
Little wax shortbread deal.
Yeah, well, there's just something about that cookie that's just, there's something.
Give it to me now.
Fake.
Here's what I see happening. Ernie poisons a cookie and offers it to the Old Spice guy, not breaking eye contact, takes it, and then the cookie turns into Ernie because it's an EL Fudge cookie.
Wait, how small is Ernie here?
Oh, well, he's actually waist height.
Is he?
Yeah, he's waist height to us.
To whose waist?
I think
Count
us.
Chocula's?
No, that's way too big. But I think Old Spice guy would like basically crumble him in his hands.
Well, because there's no way. I've seen those abs. There's no way he's eating that cookie.
Wait, you from Ernie Keebler or from Old Spice guy?
Ernie has amazing abs. Almost as good as Old Spice guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Old Spice guy on this one.
I thought the same thing. The problem is I think Ernie Keebler's a little too nice, and I see the Old Spice guy as someone who, well, can manipulate and entrance.
Oh, he's a sociopath,
and then
he doesn't blink.
He doesn't.
Didn't he used to play football? The
Did he?
actual actor.
Ernie Keebler or the Old Spice guy?
Both.
I'm confused.
Remember to clarify.
Old Spice guy moves on.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me.
Now we have Ronald McDonald
From McDonald's.
and Julius Pringle.
And from Pringles.
Obvious. Ronald McDonald, of course, is a clown with a white face, red nose and lips, with a yellow and white and red jumpsuit and big red shoes. And then Julius Pringles is a stylized cartoon character of a head of a male figure with a large mustache and parted bangs.
Yeah, and his bow tie. Does he also have a bow tie, or is that just in one of the versions? He's changed a little bit recently.
You know what I found interesting is that so his name is Julius Pringles, and it's because of a hoax. Because someone on Wikipedia edited his name to his name is Julius, and it went on like that for a while. And they even created like a fake Facebook page where they kind of said his name, to the point where in 2013 Pringles kind of went, okay, it's Julius. We'll go with it.
Do we feel like Ronald McDonald is kind of a warlord that everyone hates? Do we feel like everyone's going to be gunning for this guy in the bracket?
Probably.
But listen, your first rounder is Julius Pringles, who we are canonically giving the name Julius.
Julius Pringles is very good at trapping people's hands.
Is he any more than a face?
Okay. And I think I'm glad you said that, because I think Julius offers a chip to Ronald McDonald, and Ronald McDonald gets his hand stuck like a finger trap, but with his hand. But Ronald McDonald is a magician, and he turns the can into a hammer, and he crushes Julius Pringles, and then puts him in the can and drinks up Julius.
I don't know if you drink him. He's probably crumbled.
Well, crumbled. Like how you drink you basically drink the bottom of the can.
Yeah.
And then one gets dislodged in the back of your throat.
He just throws it on one of his double cheeseburgers and calls it a day.
It's basically French fries there. Joel, what do you think?
I think that Ronald McDonald would walk up to Julius Pringles and just say something like, "You want to know how I got these scars on my aorta?"
Because he's dealt with him before.
Yeah. And then
The taco seasoning ones, for
he's
sure.
crushing the can with his big floppy red shoe. I think Julius is gone, and I think Ronald McDonald wins.
Joel, do you remember being young enough and having a small enough arm to like get your arm all the way in the Pringles can?
I was a very chubby kid, Zack.
That never happened.
I never did that.
I used to play Mega Man.
That's
with
why he
the
had
Pringles
children.
can.
That's why he had children, so he could.
Oh, so good.
Hey, kids, give me some Pringles.
Ronald McDonald moves on.
When you believe in magic, and
I hope you do.
Now we have Sugar Bear.
From Golden Crisp cereal.
Oh, I thought it was just Joel Hilton.
Oh.
And Sour Patch Kids.
From Sour Patch Kids. Now, is it Sugar Crisp or Golden Crisp? What?
It has changed names over time.
Because he goes, can't get enough of my Sugar Crisp.
It's got the crunch with punch.
I know it is Golden Crisp.
Whereas Sour Patch Kids is first they're sour, then they're sweet,
Yeah, so they're little mischievous gummy candies. He is a animated bear with a turtleneck sweater. He always would like roll up his sleeves and then punch things in the commercials.
You say little, they're like knee height, these Sour Patch Kids. There's animated commercials where they're tiny and some commercials where they're picking at like your back hair or something.
Yeah.
But they're generally, when they're pulling pranks on you, they're shin height.
They're quite large.
Love that.
Yeah.
If a group of like shin height
just eating living Sour Patch
dude,
Kids.
you would be like, this is the best day ever. I know you're trying to murder me, but chomp.
Yeah. So the Sugar Bear, he was created to have a Dean Martin persona, basically easygoing. And he is known to tame like wild animals in his commercials. He can ride an elephant, play a matador. Just basically it's always him and wild animals.
But he always seemed a little bored while doing it. Like he's kind of like nonchalant about the whole thing.
Dean Martin.
He sloshed. He faked it a lot of time, I found out.
Dean Martin?
Yeah.
He was good at that.
I know.
Okay.
Sure he did.
Anyway.
Sure. I would say that too.
He had apple juice on stage. Anyway, obviously Sugar Bear, I feel like he's holding back. I feel like nothing has been a challenge to him. So he's like, all right, we got the golden crisp and here we go, and punch someone in the face. And there's no way the Sour Patch Kid's going to be able to match up to him once he releases the Super Bear, which is when he takes the bite, kind of like Popeye.
Come on.
Takes a bite of Sugar Crisp cereal and becomes Super Bear.
You're forgetting about the abilities of the Sour Patch Kids. They're rebels. They are pranksters. For example, marksmanship. They're good with blades and have cut people's hair while they sleep. Mm-hmm. They love pranks, but then they also love validation because they want to hug after they do the bad thing. They've caused bike accidents by painting a tunnel. They'll catch wild skunks and release them upon the public.
But do you know what their ultimate goal is, Kent? Their ultimate goal is to be eaten. They want to
No, they want hugs. In the commercials, they want hugs.
There was a video game of Sour Patch Kids, and the whole goal, you fell out of the box, I think in a movie theater or something like that, and your goal was to get back in the box so you could be eaten.
I want to play this
These
game.
are like lemmings, and I think Sugar Bear is going to take them down.
What happens if you punch a gummy child?
Yeah. You know what? You get
That's
a kinker
an odd
sore.
question to be asked.
You get a kinker sore on your fist.
Oh,
that's what happens.
A sore on your knuckle.
Well, you're going to punch through them, but they're not going to.
I think Sugar Bear loves sugar, and he's going to capture the kids, and they're going to become friends because sometimes they're sweet. They're not animals. They can't be tamed. And then they're going to say, swing on the vines for us. He's going to swing on the vines, which will be cut because they're pranksters, and he'll drop to his death.
Why is he swinging on vines? He's not the Cocoa Crispy monkey.
I know, but that bear, he does some crazy stuff.
I don't agree. I think Sugar Bear is definitely the powerhouse here in the Sour Patch Kids.
I think we got the thugs and the old man.
I think at the end of the day, the pranksters don't pose a real threat. They're just that. They're mischievous. They're not evil. So they're actually not going to cause that big of a stink. Not saying Sugar Bear is evil, but I do think that he will overpower them eventually. And I say Sugar Bear wins.
I'm glad you didn't say Sugar Bear was evil. We got some hate, man.
I know. So many people.
Can't get enough of Super Golden Crisp. It's got the crunch with punch.
Yeah.
Next we have Mr. Mucus
From Mucinex.
and Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
From Rice Krispies.
3-on-1 seems a little unfair, but also Mr. Mucus does have a family.
But he's just gross.
He's an anthropomorphic, ding, there it is again, ball of mucus who wears a dirty tank top, plaid pants, and suspenders. Whereas Snap, Crackle, and Pop, one wears a chef's hat, one wears a knit sleeping cap, and one wears a drum major's military cap.
So the powers of Mr. Mucus are sickness, congestion, and colds, and his crimes are mass infection, stalking, and he's also an accessory to vandalism to people's bodies. Whereas you have the Rice Krispies, well, they've been superheroes sometimes, but their weapons are maybe a spoon, and mostly they're clumsy. Like mostly like they'll get kidnapped and they have to save each other.
Pop is clumsy, but Snap is like a problem solver.
Yeah.
And
I love how we get these stories from 15-second commercials.
Yeah. A Crackle is a middle child, by the way. He's a jokester, though. But between Mr. Mucus and Snap, Crackle, and Pop, what is Snap, Crackle, and Pop usually eaten with?
Milk.
What does milk cause? Mucus.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very scared of it at all. This is their realm. They've dealt with this before. They've caused it. They created it.
No, here's all that needs to happen.
Molded by it.
So they're going to be making their cereal and they're going to be eating some cereal. All he needs to do is take a little dip in that milk and he's going to walk away and he's going to wait them out. Colds are contagious. They're going to get each other sick and he's just going to sit there. They die away.
When was the last time a cold killed somebody, Ken?
They're tiny babies.
They're not tiny babies.
They're tiny little babies.
By the way, fun fact, the voice of Mr. Mucus is the same person Roger L. Jackson, who voiced Ghostface in the Scream franchise.
Oh. But yeah, I think the sickness is going to get to him. He's just going to wait him out or smother him because he's...
Oh, surprise! Gross. The door just flung open and the fourth gnome, who's in the 1950s,
oh my gosh,
Pow just came in.
No, Pow was Poochie. Don't
Pow.
even.
Pow came in. This is true. There was a fourth gnome in the 1950s named Pow. which I was like, why'd they get rid of Pow?
Mr. Mucus could literally just sit on them and they'll suffocate to death.
No.
He's not.
They have no problem with that. They have spoons. They have utensils.
Ew.
They will blast him into oblivion. It's 3-on-1, Kent, and they're probably all about the same size.
Have you ever tried to fight mucus? It's very difficult.
You have to lean on one side when you're laying down. I love the crispy triplets or whatever they are.
Yeah.
But they're not beating mucus.
No. I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop are getting defeated by one Mr. Mucus.
They're getting their necks snapped, crackled, and popped.
Oh.
Not really.
Wow. Andrew Garfield just cried.
Wow.
Jeez.
No, I think it's a slow sludge that you just can't beat. Mr. Mucinex wins.
We'll be up all night.
Now we have the Coca-Cola polar bears
From Coca-Cola.
and the Jolly Green Giant
From the Green Giant Green Peas.
This is a bad first round matchup. This is an all timer for me.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic
because it's like a final rounder.
These are two heavy hitters. This is a bummer.
So the Coca-Cola bears are big, adorable polar bears who wear red scarves and make you want to cuddle up with a polar bear.
Very seasonal.
Until you realize that you're going to die if you do so. And the Jolly Green Giant, he's a giant with a leafy suit.
Is it a toga?
And a big smile. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
He was actually created, the Jolly Green Giant was, because they found a new brand of peas, or like a new type of variety of peas, that's what I'm looking for, that were bigger and a little different shaped, and people didn't want to buy them. And so they were like, well, instead of like hiding from what these peas are, let's call them like Green Giants. And then they decided to make it the Jolly Green Giant to make it even happier.
So the powers and abilities of the polar bears are strong bite and strength. And also polar bears do hunt bigger prey like narwhals, beluga whales, and adult walruses. And they feed on berries, toadstools, mosses, grasses, and seaweeds. Whereas the strength of the Jolly Green Giant, he's 55.5 feet tall. And he has giant strength, but also slow speed. I don't know why he says ho, ho, ho. But, Hey, you know who else who says ho, ho, ho? Santa Claus. Oh, that's a tying together.
They're the same person.
Listen, we got rid of the Charmin bears, and I refuse to get rid of these bears.
It's a literal giant, Kent.
Okay, let me tell you what. Wilting leaves, okay? He's bad in cold weather. You know what's bad for plants?
Why is it cold, Kent? We're in an octagon with a cage on it. We are not.
No, it doesn't. Listen, it doesn't need to be cold.
They floated in on an
I'll
iceberg.
flip it. Polar bears don't do good in heat. Boom.
Have you seen Lost? I have.
They weren't doing well.
Yeah, got shot.
The Green Giant, he's made out of plants. Polar bears eat grasses, mosses, and seaweeds. And bears, are they good at climbing trees? They sure are.
You bears in general, but you're not factoring in that we are dealing with diabetic bears that float around on ice.
With how much Coca-Cola
but
bears?
they have the advantage. We have a giant that's low on iron and bears that just drink a ton of caffeine, right? You're not factoring that in. If they climb up his legs and just put their nails in, boom. Actually,
No.
they're biting through the Achilles tendon of the Green Giant. He's going down, and they're biting through the neck.
Kent.
Go on.
Sweet, naive Kent. What in the commercials, what are the polar bears so in awe by? When they crack open their colas and they look up, what are
The
they looking
Aurora
at?
Borealis.
What color are they? Green.
And actually, they're gray. That was proven by you.
Joe's the only one who's seen them green.
They're green in the commercials. And you better believe
guess what?
They're going to walk up.
Do you know why?
They're going to see the Jolly Green Giant. They're going to look up at it and be like, oh, crack open a cold Coca-Cola, start drinking it. And the Jolly Green Giant's going to be like, ho, 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 stomp.
Oh, please.
They're distracted by the greenness.
A healthy giant versus a bear with a drinking problem.
It's not. It's Coke. It's Coca-Cola.
Jolly Green Giant wins.
I say the polar bears because they have claws. They're rough. This is a gentle, pacifist giant.
Okay, Zack recently got scratched by a cat. Is he dead? No, he's uncomfortable,
Listen,
but
guys,
he's not dead.
you may have to game the system because this
If
may
he
be the
wanted
only
to kill
time the Green Giant is taken out.
If he wanted to kill the cat, he probably could have.
Don't.
But he didn't.
Good.
But I think the Jolly
That's
Green
my
Giant
cat.
The Coca-Cola bears are too chill. They're just too chill.
Chill.
Oh my gosh.
No, give me the health nut over the Coke addict. Wow. The Jolly Green Giant moves on. And next we have Wendy
From Wendy's.
and Charlie the Tuna.
From Starkist Tuna.
Yeah.
So Starkist Tuna, so Charlie was introduced in 1961. Wendy, like, she's constantly been characterized as a nice girl and sympathetic, but then since like the memes with the internet and I guess the social media, Wendy's been seen as like a bit arrogant and sarcastic.
Yeah, so she's got red hair fashioned in two pigtails with blue bows on the end. She wears a blue and white striped shirt. And then Charlie the Tuna is a New York accented beatnik wearing a beret and thick glasses. And the joke of Charlie the Tuna is he sits there and says, oh, Starkiss is looking for tunas with good taste, and I've got excellent taste. And they have to tell him, sorry, Charlie, it's not that. It's not that they want tuna with good taste. They want tuna that tastes good.
Yeah.
And they have to remind him of that every time.
So basically, he's inviting people to eat tuna, his own kind. And I think that's what's going to happen. He invites Wendy to say, hey, come eat some tuna. And Wendy's going to say, I'm actually going to make a new tuna sandwich. So, yeah, that'd be great. And he shows her, hey, here's where you can get them. And she throws them into a meat press and fryer. And then I'll be ordering the number 8 tuna melt with vanilla frosty, please.
Yeah, I got to give this one to Wendy as well. Charlie's just a very ignorant fish. He's a strong swimmer. But the truth is, I think Wendy has experience catching fish. Strikes me as that type of gal. And I think she's going to be able to catch Charlie pretty quickly, especially since he keeps thinking they want good taste.
Right.
Over and over again.
You lost me at a tuna melt from Wendy's. You know how many people are getting sick off that?
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, Charlie.
My word.
With a vanilla frosty after? What?
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. Wendy wins.
Years ago, my dad started a hamburger chain and named it after me.
Now we have Flo
From Progressive Insurance.
and Mr. Clean.
From Mr. Clean.
Procter & Gamble made a product called Mr. Clean.
So Flo is portrayed by Stephanie Courtney, the actress, since 2008. And Mr. Clean was introduced in 1958.
And Flo is an extremely upbeat personality with a brilliant white uniform, heavy makeup, and a retro hairstyle, whereas Mr. Clean is a muscular, tan, bald man who cleans things very well.
He hates dirt. It's the only thing that makes him frown. Now, one thing I've noticed about Mr. Clean is he's kind of supernatural. You know those movies where ghosts just appear in reflective surfaces
I
or
think he
mirrors?
can teleport. I think Mr.
So
Clean
I
can
think
teleport.
that's how he appears, right?
Okay.
I think there's anything shiny. Like if you want to beat him, you need to destroy every mirror and everything that reflects. Otherwise, he's coming in the house. Or make everything really dirty, right?
Here's the thing. You notice that everything Flo is in is usually this bright, white, clean atmosphere. And I think that's, kind of Mr. Clean's domain.
But also, don't you think Flo is probably like secretly a serial killer? Like the way she smiles, she's dead in the eyes. She wants you to be dead.
I find it amazing
eyes.
that she's become such an iconic character.
Right.
I've seen people dress up for her as Halloween, and I love it. I love that a brand mascot like that has become so iconic that it's become like, oh yeah, we can.
And it's a recent thing.
Yeah.
It was so confusing when I was watching Mad Men and she's in the show, but it's the same vibe as Flo.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's why you got Flo.
I think she's got some spunk in her as well, but I think Mr. Clean's going to take this one. I think he also, the original model for Mr. Clean was a United States Navy sailor from Florida. And some of the commercials have referred to Mr. Clean as a genie.
Yeah, but he's not a genie. He's not a genie.
No.
They
Not a
referred to him as, I'm just saying.
He looks like a genie, but he doesn't have genie powers.
Can appear out of nowhere and he's bald.
But listen, he's going to destroy her and blood will flow.
Oh, Mr. Clean cleans her clock and everyone that's in it. I think Mr. Clean wins this easily.
Oh, sorry, Flo.
I mean, I like Flo better, but
I'm surprised you didn't go with the Flo, Zack.
all right. Good job, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
And now, wow, we have Orville Redenbacher
From Orville Redenbacher Popcorn.
and Toucan Sam.
From Fruit Loops.
Now, Orville Redenbacher is an older man with horn-rimmed glasses and a bow tie, whereas Toucan Sam is a friendly and wise British toucan with blue feathers and a colorfully striped nose.
And Orville is just the founder of the company, right?
He is. And then some advertising executives decided to tell him, hey, you should be the face of this product as well. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing him in commercials and thinking, he seems nice. I will buy his popcorn.
So the powers of Toucan Sam is he exhibits the ability to smell Fruit Loops from great distances. Mm-hmm. Basically, he says, follow my nose. It always knows. The powers are really just sense of smell because I was looking up the bill of a toucan, and essentially it's just like fingernail hardness. Yeah, it's keratin, and basically that makes up the hair and nail of humans. And that's all a toucan's beak is. It's actually not very powerful. So it's used for smelling, not for attacking.
But here's the problem, Kent. Orville Redenbacher's been making popcorn for how long? Even post-mortem? Long time. That smell of popcorn, the buttery smell of popcorn is all over him. There's nowhere he can hide.
See, I like that. But also, you think Orville's going to use that as a weakness? He's going to use it as a strength. He's going to dry out Sam with this amazing buttery popcorn smell and going to add a little fruity flavoring to it. Sam's going to fly into this thing. All of a sudden, foil over the top. He's in a tinfoil cage and it's getting really hot under him. Pop goes the birdie.
No. See, the way I see it playing out is Orville Redenbacher's trying to get away, trying to trap him. He keeps finding him. And then finally they get to a point where like they're at each other's throats. And Orville Redenbacher's going to go get him. But, arthritis wins again. And Toucan Sam destroys him.
Listen, humans are a natural predator to toucans.
I'm looking to try and validate Kent's argument where he somehow fruit flavored his popcorn.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in their brand.
White cheddar, nacho cheese, ranch, movie theater, Cinnabon, and Buffalo Wild Wing sauce.
Are you saying that Kent is making up facts just to get his case
you're
pushed
saying
forward?
there can't be a different flavor of popcorn?
Not for
in a
Orville
deathmatch?
He's an old-fashioned guy.
Savory only.
That's what you're going to base it on?
I looked up his strengths, Kent. His strengths, Orville Redenbacher, is creating hybrid strains of popcorn. That's it.
Have you seen a picture of Orville Redenbacher?
But do you think he doesn't know how to manage hot oil? If it's a fight to the death, is he not using hot oil?
Where is he getting hot oil, Kent?
He's got to use his strength.
Where is he getting it from?
His pockets?
He has hot oil in his pockets.
Okay, how are birds most often taken out by a human?
Guns.
Have you seen a picture of Orville Redenbacher?
Yes.
Does he strike you as a proponent of the Second Amendment? I think he's just a big old nerd, and he's not a hunting guy, and I don't think he's going to be hard to take out. I think this is Toucan Sam.
Just follow my nose. It always knows.
And now we have the Noid.
From Domino's Pizza.
Avoid the Noid. And Twinkie the Kid.
From Twinkies.
Do you remember Twinkie the Kid? Does anyone remember Twinkie the Kid?
I remember Twinkie the Kid.
So he's an anthropomorphized Twinkie appearing as a wrangler. He wears boots, gloves, a kerchief, and a 10-gallon hat. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Noid is clad in a red, skin-tight, rabbit-eared bodysuit with a black N inscribed on a white circle on his chest.
So the Twinkie the Kid does have the lasso as part of his weapon.
He's good at lassoing. I've seen him lasso many things and even create words with his lasso.
Do we want to go into the history of the Noid? The controversy of the Noid? Did you look into that?
I did. I think we've actually talked about it before here.
We'll just say there's a reason Domino's stopped using the Noid.
Because some crazy person
thought
a hostage. It was a message toward him, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. So the Noid, though, I mean, he's just really, really annoying.
Yes.
And I think that's the purpose of him. But he does have unpredictability. And chaos.
He's a mischief guy.
But he always tries using tech to destroy, in the commercials, a box of pizza. So like the box of pizza closes and he wants to destroy it.
Well, he wanted to stop Domino's from getting to where they needed to go in 30 minutes or less.
But guess how he's defeated? The cardboard box lifts and knocks him out. In every commercial, it's a light cardboard box and he's destroyed. And he's made out of clay. So nothing's really going to happen there. Whereas
Twinkie the Kid is made out of a Twinkie.
You can never kill a Twinkie. Apu said it.
That is a lie.
Seriously, Twinkie's going to outlast. That's Noid is not patient enough.
I have an expiration date.
I think Noid has the technology, and he's going to try to suck the lifeblood out of the back of the 3 holes of Twinkie the Kid.
Is the cream the lifeblood?
Yes.
Kind of like Kool-Aid Man's Kool-Aid.
He's just flavored by the cream. He is the sponge, right?
Sure, but it's his blood. Yeah, but it's just open wounds. Twinkie has open wounds.
Oh, ew.
Anyways, but anytime
I think of it more like a belly button.
Anytime the Noid has technology, it's not going to work, and because the Twinkie the Kid can use a lasso and just tie him up.
I'm going to agree with you, Kent, because the Noid is essentially the Wile E. Coyote of the Domino's Pizza franchise. He never gets his way. He never wins, and I don't think it's going to go the same with Twinkie the Kid, who, from what I can tell, can ride a horse and throw a lasso, which is all you need to avoid the Noid.
Did Twinkie the Kid did he make the return of Hostess? Maybe they lost him in the bankruptcy.
Yeah, they may have.
I don't know.
He's over there with Ding Dong somewhere.
We'll find out because Twinkie the Kid moves on.
I'll stop it.
Twinkie the Kid! Yahoo!
Now we have Punchy.
From Hawaiian Punch.
Punchy. That's all I could do?
Yeah.
Okay. And
that's how I get when I'm hangry.
Sure. And the Geico Gecko.
From Geico.
Now, Punchy is short with red hair that curls up really high.
Is it red hair? What is that?
I don't know. It's like
is it a growth
or a red hair?
Because underneath you can see a little bit of hair.
I'm not sure what's going on there. It might be a hat, but then I never knew. But he has a blue and white striped
I think it's just a big scab.
Whereas, ew, gross, kid.
It is a hat. It's almost like a straw hat.
Is that what it is?
Yes, because the mascot in 2011 was rendered in 3 dimensions, and he has brown hair.
Interesting. Meanwhile, Geico Gecko is a bipedal anthropomorphic gold dust day gecko with large black eyes and a Cockney accent. By the way, his first name is Martin.
Martin. How cute is that?
Martin.
So male gold dust day geckos are quite aggressive towards other males. But the commercials of Hawaiian Punch, we've all seen them, even though Hawaiian Punch is gross.
How about a nice Hawaiian Punch?
Yes, but he asks. And the guy goes, yes? And then he punches him. So basically, no consent, no punch. I think it's elderly abuse. You know who's not doing elderly abuse? Geico. They're taking care of your elders. I think Geico is going to be really aggressive towards Punchy.
Have you ever seen that gecko be aggressive to anything?
I think he talks him down.
He basically talks like this.
I know, but wouldn't you not want to punch that guy? You couldn't punch a guy with glasses.
But then what's he going to do on offense?
He can climb walls. Or the cage, if it's just a cage death match.
He has not shown any sort of aggression whatsoever. Punchy is known for punching people in the face.
Punchy is erratic, right? Punchy is a little insane, and that gecko is going to jump onto Punchy's face, and Punchy is going to try to take himself out. Geico jumps, and he punches himself
Wait, so
out.
he's going to ask himself, do I want a nice Hawaiian punch? And he's going to say yes to himself and then punch himself?
Probably because he's kind of a dork.
Listen, what the Geico, the gecko guy, he has dabbled in stand-up comedy. Okay? He's a stand-up comedian, and they're about the same size, right? If you look at it, they're roughly the same size. He's the size of a glass. Look at the commercials.
Okay, his size is very inconsistent. In some, he's holding a bottle of Hawaiian Punch, and others, he's standing next to a can of Hawaiian Punch.
I just saw one. He was half the size of the glass.
See, Punchy, he's a little too toxic. I think he's a little too aggressive, and I think it's going to work against him because he's not the smartest. And I think the hat obstructs his vision. I think Geico will push the hat over his face, and he's going to punch himself in the face.
You know, get a pint in the gecko. He'll get it. He'll get it taken care of. Cockney guy?
I'm saying Punchy's taking it.
Nah, I think it's cool as a cucumber. Geico.
I'm a little British gecko, and I'm going to get punched, and I'm going to die. I'm going to splat on the ground.
No. Plus, I'm pretty sure the Geico Gecko's got some friends that can help him out. He probably knows some seedy fellas.
Gex, for example.
From PlayStation.
Remember that?
For no logical reason, Geico Gecko moves on? Come on!
Punchy punches people.
With permission.
So anyway, I've been to a lot of places. You know, I've helped a lot of people save a lot of money.
Now we have the Brawny Man.
From Brawny Paper Towels.
And Chester Cheetah.
He wears sunglasses.
That's my description I have here.
Yeah. From Cheetos, obviously.
Yeah. Guys, let me ask you a question. I mean, when you think of the Brawny Man, what image comes to mind? What does he look like, face-wise?
If I had to be as descriptive as possible, Hugh Jackman.
Merlin Olsen.
Who's that?
From Little House on the Prairie.
Oh,
it's totally generational.
Yeah.
His look has softened substantially.
He used to be like blonde with a mustache.
Yeah.
And I thought, in my mind, he was just that burly kind of black bearded man.
By the way, it's currently a brawny woman.
What? Mm-hmm. Is she fighting, or are we doing the Brawny Man?
Brawny Man. I mean, it's fine.
Okay.
And it's interesting. I watch a lot of the commercials for Brawny. Brawny Man doesn't generally show up. Brawny Man just shows up on the branding for the commercial, because usually people clean up big spills and they kind of show a close-up of this fruit punch, for example, or Punchy's blood that just gets soaked up in the paper towel, and they just show Brawny Man on the packaging, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes they show him to be a giant outside the window. Sometimes there will be just a strong man in the kitchen, but they rarely ever show him. Whereas Chester Cheetah, he first appeared in 1986. Powers are dancing. He's in Just Dance 4. Vehicular control in his commercials. And he's cool, cute, sweet, crazy, heroic, and peaceful.
Except for in the original Cheetos commercials, he was kind of a bumbling idiot, a clumsy idiot.
Well, that's
who always tried to get Cheetos. And then he was, once again, Wile E. Coyote type. He would try
kind of like the Trix Rabbit? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, he'd reach for it and then fall off a cliff. Or he'd reach for it and get hit by a car. Like he would never he'd try to get the Cheetos and they would always...
I wonder why they changed that.
I don't know. Now he went from being bumbling to being suave.
So the Brawny Man did have an axe up until the 70s, and they took it away. I guess like test groups didn't like it.
I think he has an axe, though. I think he's a full-blown lumberjack.
I'm looking at 1976 Brawny Man, and he looks like he's part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. He really looks right out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah, kind of like that, what's that movie? Jeremiah Johnson type. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, kind of.
And then Chester Cheetah, I think he has endurance, he has persistence, but he can't follow through. And so I'm giving this one to the Brawny Man.
Cheetahs are fast, though, but they are the weakest of the big cats.
How?
Yeah, that's
like
what
bone strength?
As far as fighting.
Oh.
They have small canine teeth and weaker jaws than the other cats.
Cute.
And they can run really fast, but then they have to take like really long breaks. Kind of like you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually exhausted right now.
And so I do think like if the Brawny Man has an axe, or even if he doesn't, like he's not going to be able to catch up like in a foot race, but his axe will catch up. And Chester Cheetah's head is gigantic.
Yes.
That thing, it's going to be split like a melon.
Oh, Kent. That got a little graphic.
The Brawny Man, the 2003 and on Brawny Man, he doesn't look like he can count very high. but he's got a really wide neck. He's a strong guy. I think I'm going to take him.
All right.
Yeah, Brawny Man wins.
Try Brawny.
Now we have the Helping Hand
from Hamburger Helper
and Mr. Peanut
from Planters Peanuts.
And so Helping Hand is a 4-fingered left hand white glove with
His name's Lefty.
With a face on the palm and a red spherical nose. And then Mr. Peanut is an anthropomorphic peanut in its shell wearing the formal clothing of an old-fashioned gentleman with a top hat, monocle, white gloves, spats, and cane.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point something out here is that the Helping Hand, he's left-handed, which means one of his weaknesses is right-handed devices. Anything in that cage that's right-handed, he's going to have an issue with. And then Mr. Peanut, he's a dandy. You know, he has style, but he's also not great at driving, as the fact that they killed him off with him driving his off a car.
He faked his own death, though.
No, he came back as Baby Nut.
Yeah, but everyone knew it was him basically being reincarnated.
Because he can regrow.
And I would say Mr. Planter's weakness is probably foot traffic at Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. Here's how I see it going.
So this fight is taking place in the Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, here's how I see it going. I don't know if I can snap a peanut with one hand. So I think Helping Hand won't really have any luck there, especially because that's his face. But I think he'd try to punch it. You know, kind of like the floating hand in Super Smash Brothers. I think he'd try to punch Mr. Peanut.
Master Hand.
But guess what? If he came down like with the palm, Mr. Peanut does have that cane, and there is a giant nose, and there are eyes that he could stick the cane right into and stop him in his tracks. Kind of like Gamork in the Neverending Story.
But at the same time, Helping Hand has 4 fingers, and Mr. Peanut has 10. So I think Mr. Peanut's going to take
it. He wins solely on number of fingers.
Really?
It really makes a difference.
Finger number?
He's a 4-fingered left-handed hand.
And he has a weapon.
The Helping Hand or Mr. Peanut?
No, Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, 'cause he has the cane.
I think that big nose for Helping Hand is working against him, too.
You know, it's funny. Helper, what's it? Helpy? Whatever his name is?
Lefty.
Helping Hand?
Lefty.
We got to give him a name. Lefty?
It's Lefty.
He's right-handed. He's holding the spoon in the thumb.
Oh, because his thumb is his hand.
So he has a left hand who is right-handed.
That's mind-blowing.
Confusing.
Honestly, all Mr. Peanut has to do is get a splinter in one of those fingers, and he's all hand, so it's going to be a very unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
He looks soft and squishy and easy to beat. Mr. Peanut wins.
Get to know Mr. Peanut. Eat your planters.
Now we have Duo.
Oh, the most hated mascot.
From Duolingo.
And Lucky the Leprechaun.
From Lucky Charms.
An adored mascot.
So Duo, the owl, is an animated green owl on the app Duolingo.
With judging eyes.
And he's the one who will tell you need to get your streak. You need to not lose your streak on Duolingo. You need to keep learning those languages on that app.
And in the memes online, he will impromptu you with a knife.
Well, yeah, I think it's his powers and skills are daily training. You know, he likes that trash talking, hot temper, OCD.
Dedication.
In a 2024 April Fool's Day skit, in a mix of English and Spanish, Duo admits to having an appetite for human flesh, and if the user failed to continue their streak, he would eat their head like a praying mantis.
Wow. Duo, take it easy.
But did it happen, is my question. Is he all talk? Because as far as I can tell, he just stares at you. So his weakness is battery life.
And that's just it. So Lucky the Leprechaun, one of his weaknesses, he's meant to be only 11 years old. He's like the youngest member of a family.
Is that leprechaun years?
Maybe. But here's the thing, 11-year-olds, they're iPad kids. And there's an app on an iPad, which is Duolingo. And one of the powers of Lucky is light magic. And he's going to use that light magic to overheat this app mascot and basically implode him.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I do agree with the fact that Lucky the Leprechaun has luck on his side. And Duo, being an owl, isn't.
But he's so mean.
Duo is?
Duo is.
He's dedicated and he's aggressive. And what does Lucky do? He's just trying to steal things and run away. Does he get away is the question.
Yeah, but he's always running.
Have you seen the movie Leprechaun? Leprechauns can be mean when provoked.
Oh, this isn't one of those. He's not.
But he does have light magic, shrinkability, rainbow magic, and telekinesis.
Telekinesis?
Yeah.
What has he moved with his mind?
Milk.
What?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, goodness. I don't see the owl Duo the owl surviving this battle. I think it's going to be Lucky the Leprechaun. Simply the fact that
Lucky the Leprechaun going to get his revenge on us.
Has been around a very long time, and Duo has not.
And won't be around for long.
Because you're agreeing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Lucky. Are you mad? Are you upset?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I love Lucky Charms, but I don't know about this.
I mean, I'm kind of partial to Marshmallow Mateys, but that's okay.
Because they're cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, the cereal portion's better. Save it for our multi-meal versus name brand episode.
Actually,
we've been talking about for years.
That.
We've been talking about it for a long time. All right, Lucky the Leprechaun wins.
Always have to be Lucky Charms.
Now, keeping it in the cereal realm, we have Tony the Tiger.
From Frosted Flakes.
And Jack in the Box.
From Jack in the Box.
Cool.
Tony the Tiger is an anthropomorphic tiger with a kerchief around his neck.
Death rattle facts for Jack in the Box.
I was going to say, just tell me the facts about Jack in the Box.
He debuted in 1994. He is named after his father's favorite type of cheese. He was the high school class clown and had a significant crush. And he always fought with his rival, Brock Anderson. His powers and skills are leadership, his nose, and poker skills. And he's the founder and chairman of Jack in the Box.
Ken.
Although, yes.
Who has killed more actual people, Frosted Flakes or Jack in the Box?
Have you ever gotten Frosted Flakes stuck in your throat?
not recently.
I'd say too soon, but that's the joke that will never die.
That was like back in the 90s? 93.
Yeah.
Yes. Because people sadly did pass away from E. coli. It was a whole disaster, Jack in the Box. It took a long time for them to recover from.
Yeah.
But Jack in the Box, he's an explosives expert, Kent.
No, he's been exploded.
No, he got exploded, and then he reappeared in 19...
later? 15 years later?
The explosiveness
he blows up the boardroom.
Oh, no, listen.
The explosiveness is what happens
Tony
after
the Tiger
you consume Jack in
is
the
an
Box.
athlete. All you need to do is tie a rope to the hat of Jack in the Box, which is stuck to his head. Tetherball. Jack in the Box is gone.
You know what Tony the Tiger's weakness is? Milk. He goes soggy in like 2 seconds.
he's got that. No. He's got that coating on the outside that keeps it nice and crisp for a long
No,
period.
he does not. Have you had it? I feel like you've never actually had Frosted Flakes.
I love Frosted Flakes.
It gets so soggy. It's like, hey, would you like some sugary cardboard?
No. There's another cereal on here that definitely gets soggier faster.
Yeah, but Tony the Tiger wins.
Tony the Tiger wins easy.
Oh, come on.
Oh, not even close.
Fine.
Jack in the Box is an explosives expert.
That's great.
They're great.
Now we have Trix Rabbit.
From Trix Cereal.
And Chuck E. Cheese.
From Chuck E. Cheese.
The E stands for entertainment.
Yeah, Charles Entertainment Cheese. So Chuck E. Cheese is about 25 years old, apparently. Like, in his character is 25 years old. He's been around for much longer,
He's
actually.
25?
He's 25, and he's hanging around.
He is a Hello Fellow Kids kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Whereas the Trix Rabbit, he debuted in 1959. His powers and skills are disguising, he never gives up, and vehicular mastery. Whereas the powers and skills of Chuck E. Cheese are instruments. He has a robotic skeleton. He's 6 feet tall and his menacing stare.
Did you find out Chuck E. Cheese's backstory when you were reading this?
Go on.
It's kind of sad. He, from the official backstory of Chuck E. Cheese, apparently he's an orphan who never had his own birthday. So instead he fills the void by hosting birthday parties for everyone else.
He's like Michael Scott.
And what is the Trix Cereal Rabbit good at? Disguise.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to dress up as a little kid who just wants a birthday party and wants tricks at his birthday party. And Chuck E. Cheese going to be like, oh yeah, we could totally do that. Here, let my band play. And then Trix Rabbit is going to walk up behind him, stabby, stabby, dead mouse.
He's a robot animatronic.
Stabby, stabby, dead mouse.
No, he's got robotic vision, infrared vision. He knows there's a rabbit under that disguise.
Not Five Nights
and
at
it's going to be
Freddy's.
late at night. Trix Rabbit, he'll be like, because he's like really stretchy. Chuck E. Cheese is going to grab him, wrap him up in guitar strings, and start playing.
I'm just saying, I've seen Chuck E. Cheese's fail more than I've seen Trix Cereal fail.
Who are you more afraid of? Remember when we went to Chuck E. Cheese and he was right behind us? You were a little scared.
A little scared, yeah, but now he's gone.
As a fan of electronic dance music, I would love to see a dead mouse, but...
And by the way, Trix Rabbit has only ever got his way twice in his long-standing history. He always generally fails, only got his way because the audience voted that they wanted him to finally get cereal. So,
because the audience loves a winner.
No, he always fails, and so they felt bad. Chuck E. Cheese was on top of the world for a while.
The plight of the Trix Rabbit has drawn comparisons to Sisyphus, the Greek figure who is doomed to endlessly repeat a futile task of pushing a rock.
Trix
up a hill.
Rabbit, children are his enemy. Chuck E. Cheese, children are his best friends.
Chuck E. Cheese is from California, but his dad is from Utah.
What?
Nolan Bushnell,
the Showbiz Pizza?
Founder of Atari. Who's the founder of Atari, Nolan Bushnell, started Chuck E. Cheese. And the reason his name is Chuck E. Cheese is because you have to smile when saying it.
Okay. So, Zach, you have to decide who wins in this fight.
I'm going to go with the Trix Rabbit.
Okay.
Yes.
Dang it.
Trix Rabbit.
No logic, but okay.
No, it just goes down to I'm not scared of Chuck E. Cheese. He's a mouse. He's not
He's
Freddy.
a 6 foot tall mouse.
Sometimes. Trix Rabbit wins.
Sweet, colorful, bursting with fruity flavor.
Next up, we have Kent Dunn. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Snuggle Bear.
From Snuggle Fabric Softener.
And the Burger King.
From Burger King.
Oh, boy.
So the Snuggle Bear, Snuggle is his name. He debuted in 1983. And the Burger King, he first appeared on a sign in 1955. But the commercials we know and were kind of weirded out by.
The Creepy King, as they call him.
They ran from 2003 to 2011.
It's funny because the Creepy King, they say that they removed him because the character, quote, scared away women and children from the chain.
Yeah, because they were going to Burger King.
Apparently. And Snuggle Bear, he's just the cutest little bear. He makes things soft and fluffy.
Is he so frail? Because he's not a bear, he's a teddy bear. Like they say he's a teddy bear, not a white bear.
He is a teddy bear.
But his weapons, he does have a towel. But in 2001 and 2002, Snuggle sent out like Snuggle Bear teddy bears, and they were choking hazards because the nightcaps, the eyes and noses came off.
Yeah.
Whereas the Burger King, Zach, you were going to say?
Well, look at the Burger King. You tell me that guy hasn't snapped a towel before.
Because creeping, stalking, breaking and entering, and stealth are his powers. His hobbies are he's a king. His weakness, he's prideful, right? And
I was going to say his weakness is sales.
Oh, wow. See, but here's what happens. I think the Creeper King is so dirty, just like the inside of a Burger King. I think Snuggle Bear will just collapse, just faint. Because the Snuggle Bear is so gentle and cute.
And that's the thing is, in my mind, Snuggle Bear is just pleading with the king to not kill him as he's dropping him in a washing machine and turning on the water.
Oh, no.
It's not going to go well.
Wrong temperature.
Wrong temperature is going to shrink him and ruin Snuggle Bear.
Oh. I've also seen the Burger King play football. He runs very fast. It's
Ew, imagine if you wash them with the towels that they wash the Burger King tables with.
Oh.
They don't wash those.
Allegedly.
Not a sponsor. No, I think the Burger King wins here pretty easily.
Go double whopper with the king.
And now, the most interesting man in the world.
From Dos Equis Beer.
And M&M's.
So red and yellow is kind of what we're going with, right?
Yeah, I think the main two.
Yeah, from
Not
M&M's,
green?
obviously. Oh.
The cool blue one?
You know, green is cool, but red and yellow are kind of like, the odd couple.
They're the staples.
Right?
Which one was voiced by John Lovitz and one was voiced by John Goodman for a while there?
Well, interesting because the most interesting man in the world was portrayed by Jonathan Goldsmith. That ran from 2006. And I will say his character ran from 2006 to 2016. He retired. And then they're like, we're going to do this with another actor. It only lasted 2 years because that guy is so cool.
Because he's like, stay thirsty, my friends.
But is the joke the Chuck Norris joke?
I wonder. I wonder if the Dos Equis beer guy is the most, if he's all talk.
Because, for example, his powers are he frees bears from traps, surfing, bench pressing 2 women on benches.
Trick shots.
Beat Fidel Castro in an arm wrestle. Here's a quote. He's a lover, not a fighter, but he's also a fighter, so don't get any ideas. And he also says, it's never too early to start beefing up your obituary.
He's a fish that big kind of guy.
Yeah. But he's proved it, apparently, or at least legend.
In his stories, I feel like this is a big fish kind of thing where he's telling the stories. He has no proof. He has no proof he did any of that. I think he's all talk. And I think when he sees 2 giant M&Ms are walking and talking,
giant
heart attack.
Giant. What have you seen them next to Santa Claus?
Yeah,
they're not that big.
They're not the size of M&Ms.
What does the most interesting man look like?
An old man.
What does he have?
A beard.
A light-colored beard. Mm-hmm. At the mere sight of Santa Claus, red faints. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the M&Ms here. The most interesting man, the Dos Equis man, he might be fibbing. What is the M&M going to do?
When the most interesting man in the world is in the room, M&Ms do melt in your hand. That's exactly what the commercials would say.
No, it's 2 of them, and they're going to beat up on this old guy who's going to tell the story later about
even if they drop on his head.
Them.
What they can do? Drop on his temples and knock him out? It's not going to happen.
The old guy's jacked.
No, don't knock off M&M so quickly.
I know. I'm so sorry.
But iconic mascot. But what are they doing in a fight? Melting. Nothing.
They're
the most interesting man in the world wins.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Now we have the Quaker Oats man
from the silo of oatmeal you have in your house,
and the Michelin man.
His name is Bibendium. And he's from Michelin.
Yeah,
Bibendium.
Bebendium the Michelin Man.
Yeah, so the Quaker Oats man, he actually resembles someone named William Penn, who was a Quaker back in he was early, but in 1909 they kind of said William Penn is our mascot.
So
and walked away from it.
These two are cool. Yeah, he founded Pennsylvania.
But they have walked that. Quaker Oats has walked that back, and they say, well, it's not a specific Quaker.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay the estate.
These are the two oldest mascots we have on the list, and it's funny that they're facing each other. The Quaker Oats man, introduced in 1877. Bebendium was introduced in France in 1894. He's a humanoid consisting of stacked white tires.
Yes.
His powers are durability, of course, right? He's a little bumbling sometimes, kind of jovial, but he's made out of tires.
But it also says in his description, he's a lord of industry, a master of all he surveyed, and a patriotic exponent of the French spirit.
Don't you love that? Now, the thing about Quakers, they're not Puritans. They are very peaceful.
Yes.
In fact, they avoid violence at all costs.
They're passive.
And they actually call each other friend. Friend. So if the Quaker Oats man, if he has a pitchfork, is that going to help him against a tire man?
Maybe, although the Bibendum,
it's a lot of tires,
Bibendum can withstand a lot of road hazards. By the way, his name comes from the slogan "Nunc est Bibendium," which means now is the time to drink.
So that's the thing. He's kind of surly.
Well, because originally they came to this artist and they said, hey, we want to make this guy made of tires. What do you got? And he had an image he already created for a Munich brewery. That was hard to say. And that was what it said is Nunc est Bibendium. Now is the time to drink, which makes a lot more sense.
So on one hand, you have a pacifist. And on the other, you have a guy who judges restaurants. I just finished watching The Bear. Those guys are mean.
The Michelin star.
The Michelin star guy?
Yeah, there it is.
Well played.
Because, by the way,
well played.
Same company.
What?
Michelin stars? Michelin tires.
Why are tire people rating food?
Same company.
Why are people drinking from a Stanley Cup?
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
But in between these two, I see Michelin Man going ahead and winning this one. He's resilient. He's, like I said, a master of all he surveyed and a lord of industry. And I just feel like the Quaker Oats
so you're
man,
saying the Lord of Industry is rolling right over our old ways?
The rolled oats. Yeah. Because even though the Quaker Oats man has honesty, integrity, purity, and strength, he does not have this match.
I agree.
And with that, Bebendium moves on.
Michelin, a better way forward.
And next we have, this is the matchup I was so happy about.
Oh.
This is the one I'm so happy about.
Okay, take your kids out of the room.
Yeah. I mean, we already have one beer guy going on. Why not another one? Okay, we have Spuds McKenzie.
From Bud Light.
Is that the target dog? No.
Kind of, though, eventually.
Yeah. And then Joe Camel.
From Camel Cigarettes.
So cool.
So Spuds debuted in 1987, didn't last very long, and Joe Camel debuted in 1974, lasted a little bit longer. I would say the weakness of these two is the government.
Well, because both of these mascots were kind of accused of targeting young people, like with the use of a dog or the use of this cartoon camel and looking like
and the
James
camel
Bond.
really did. Kids did have the awareness of this mascot.
Spuds McKenzie is a bull terrier that wears Hawaiian shirts and sunglasses, and Joe Camel is an anthropomorphic camel who smokes cigarettes, but he doesn't have a hump or hooves or tail. He's like a muscular humanoid with a camel's head, and he's usually in like a masculine pose in a tuxedo, surrounded by women or in a bar.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Listen, I don't drink or smoke, but if I did, I'd probably have Bud Light and a pack of Camels because I grew up in the era of seeing these ads. Like, what a terrible idea.
You're right.
In 1991, the Journal of the American Medical Association found that Joe Camel and the Disney Channel logo were recognized equally among 6-year-olds.
Wow.
High students were more familiar with him than adults, and that Camel's market share among youth smokers had sharply risen. Like brand awareness for Joe Camel, definitely from kids.
What kind of students?
What kind of students? High school students.
Okay.
Well, okay. Originally,
you said high students.
Did I?
Yeah.
Since they're smoking.
I think this battle really is just about what causes more damage to your body.
Well,
and I'm going to say it's cigarettes. Even though I think the camel is a little more overpowered than the dog, I think they're fighting outside the nation's capital because they're both inside a hearing. The Senate is going after them. I think there's liquid courage for Spuds McKenzie to take a bite out of Joe's neck.
By the way, on a kind of a more somber note, the dog that was playing Spuds McKenzie was a female bull terrier. That's right, Spuds McKenzie, girl.
That was a big controversy at the time.
Yeah, named Honey Tree Evil Eye. That was the name of the dog.
Wait,
Someone named their dog Honey Tree Evil Eye.
But guess how the real dog died?
Kidney failure. In 1993.
Oh.
And it's a Bud Light dog.
Oh.
Yeah. And they did retire Spuds in 1989, saying the character's image had started to overshadow the product. I will admit that I think my brother had a Spuds MacKenzie shirt because it was just a cool dog in a Hawaiian shirt.
I think Joe Camel is hideous looking. I hate the designs. I hate the ads. And I do think the beer dog is going to take out the cigarette camel.
And they chose the camel because they used Turkish tobacco. And that's one of the reasons they chose it. But I also feel like, much like the most interesting man in the world, Joe Camel's all talk.
I feel like sometimes Joe Camel is like a greaser, like a T-Bird. And
sometimes James Bond.
Sometimes he's like risky business Tom Cruise.
Yeah. But I do think Spuds MacKenzie's going to take this round.
Spuds MacKenzie moves on.
There's a super party animal. His name is Spuds MacKenzie.
Now we have Buzzbee
from Honey Nut Cheerios
and Mr. Owl
from Tootsie Roll Pops.
1, 2,
I
3.
hate Mr. Owl so.
Why do you hate Mr.
He's
Owl?
A jerk. All he does is he stalks people and steals their suckers. And he lies to them.
Like you haven't, Kent?
Okay.
Yes, but Buzzbee, his strengths, flight, sense of direction, stinger. But the weakness is one sting and he's done.
So he actually does. He does actually have a weapon. It's his honeycomb mace that he uses the honey as a grabber or a whip or a lasso. And this happens throughout the commercials. They actually overuse it. Mr. Owl, I think he just theft would be a power and skill.
Wisdom and wit.
Wisdom
because he got someone's candy.
He can count to 3, I guess. It actually takes 997 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop.
That's 3 less than 1,000.
Yeah.
3.
He's a white owl, so he's not great at camouflage. He's a little portly and can't fly very fast.
He's got glasses and a graduation cap.
Yeah.
So he's graduated. He's a graduate.
I think these are both kind of weaker warriors, but I do think that the honey lasso and the mace that Buzzbee has, I honestly think he would snap the beak of Mr. Owl and smother the nostrils in honey, and he'd be down for the count. 1, 2, 3.
3. I also think Mr. Owl is not a fighter. I think that Buzzbee would get the upper hand on him. In fact, I would think that he'd take that, that little honey drizzler.
Yeah, that's it. That's the mace that I'm calling. Yeah.
I think he would hold it to him as if he were a Tootsie Pop, and then when he opened his mouth, jab it in his throat.
Perfect.
Buzzbee wins.
There's another kind of Cheerios waiting in your breakfast bowl.
Now we have Quickie
from Nestle's Nesquik
and Smokey Bear
from United States Forest Service.
Did you guys think it was Smokey the Bear?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Smokey the Bear, but it's not.
It's
do you know why we think that?
Yogi the Bear, Smokey Bear, guys, come on.
So it was Willie Nelson wrote a song about Smokey Bear, and he added the because it sounded better with the song.
With the rhythm?
Yeah, with the syllables and all that.
Yeah, but it's just Smokey Bear.
So Quickie he debuted in 1960, but really kind of became popular with the strawberry milk version of Nestle Quick.
Yes.
And then, so good. And then Smokey Bear was created in 1947. Quickie has speed, twisting ears, and strong legs. Smokey Bear has strength, durability, high intelligence, apparently can grow to the size of a mountain. What? And breaking the fourth wall. Oh, and he also has a handy shovel, blue jeans, and a ranger's cap.
And he's a black bear. Do we point that out too?
Is he a black bear? I thought he's a brown bear.
No, well, he's brown, but he's not color black, but the breed's black.
Thank
bear.
you. Okay.
I've got for strength here, bear strength, shoveling skills, and fire knowledge for Smokey Bear. Whereas Nesquik, he's speed. That's all he's got.
Yeah, speed.
I mean, that's why they did it. That's why he made him a rabbit, because they're like speed, efficiency, easy. That's what they're going for.
And is it speed because you want to make some chocolate milk?
Done.
Just get a couple spoonfuls.
Yeah. By the way, the voice acting done for Quickie the Rabbit was done by Barry Gordon, who was the voice of Donatello in the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Bear versus rabbit.
Fast Bear.
Yeah.
Versus
Fast Rabbit.
You don't think the jeans are going to hinder Smokey Bear's movements?
No, they're baggy jeans. He's good.
He's got a shovel. He's got an Uncle Sam poster.
Yeah.
Only you can what?
Can prevent forest fires.
Interesting. Because it was only you can. First of all, it was Smokey says care will prevent 9 out of 10 forest fires. His slogan changed in 1947 to be remember only you can prevent forest fires. But then in 2001, they updated it to say only you can prevent wildfires because they wanted to promote the prevention of unplanned outdoor fires, not prescribed burns.
What year did they change it?
2001.
Oh, yeah. I stopped being the target audience, apparently, around that time. I don't know. Yeah, Smokey Bear wins. Quickie with his weird twisty ears. They were twisted around.
It's a distraction, but that's about
out
it.
Of the straw. He hasn't got much to offer. Smokey Bear wins.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And now, Energizer Bunny
from Energizer Batteries
versus Jeffrey the Giraffe.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
So the Energizer Bunny is the one where
this matchup.
he come in commercials and they talk about how long the batteries last. So they're saying the Energizer keeps going and going and going to the point where another commercial would start playing and you'd think it like this is later. You'd watch a commercial, think it was another commercial, and all of a sudden the Energizer Bunny come through and just going and
really clever.
I like that.
So they took over every other commercial essentially.
Yeah.
Jeffrey was originally called Dr. G-Raff from 1948 to 1965.
I get it, Dr. Ger.
Right? And then he got a family in the early 70s, and they removed the family in 1999.
Yeah, he had a wife, Gigi, a baby G, and son Jeffrey Jr., and they got rid of him.
And his body's generally humanoid-like, kind of like Joe Camel. It's a giraffe with a human body, essentially.
Yeah.
He's about 6 meters tall, though, sometimes. Giraffes can run about 35 miles per hour, which is pretty quick. But the weakness is they struggle with habitat loss. And by habitat loss, I mean Toys R Us.
Sales.
Oh.
Whereas the weakness of the Energizer Bunny, who is a drummer, by the way, is the battery is very exposed. It's on the right thigh, and he's kind of powerless without it.
Did you know, by the way, that the Energizer Bunny was created as a parody of a Duracell bunny? Like the Duracell bunny was first, and they had a drumming bunny commercial, and that was 1973. And then in 1988, when the trademark had lapsed, Energizer was like, we're going to do our own bunny parody and make fun of them. And then it became like their signature because no one remembers Duracell bunny.
I was going to say, I think Energizer's weakness is Duracell. I'm a Duracell guy. Yeah. I mean, for some reason, you have a favorite brand. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
But as far as the fight, I think the bunny keeps going and going and going, and Toys R Us is gone.
That's the biggest thing I can come up with from the actual things
truly,
fighting.
A giraffe. If we're going to go with a giraffe battle, the neck is actually really strong, and they use that to fight. Sure. The legs are a little bit weak, and what can you use against the legs? Drumsticks.
Little ankle biter here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Energizer Bunny wins.
Did I even get a vote?
Did you?
I vote for Energizer Bunny.
Oh, okay. Now it's final.
Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
Now it's Coco the monkey.
From Cocoa Krispies.
And Cocoa Pops.
And the Morton Salt Girl.
From Morton Salt. Her real name is Sarah Peldon, by the way. She debuted in 1914. The slogan is, when it rains, it pours.
And it's a young girl walking in the rain with an opened umbrella and scattering salt behind her from a cylindrical container of table salt. That was hard to say. But they did that. They wanted to show that even in rain, their salt would flow freely.
Which was not a thing at the time.
No,
they had a special coating that would allow it to not cake in the humidity. Humidity was a wild problem for salt for years until the Salt Girl fixed it.
And then, so Coco the monkey can be 1 to 2 feet tall. Based on the type of monkey he is?
Yes, he's agile. He likes swinging in the jungle, swinging on the vines. I don't see the Morton Salt Girl doing much of anything.
She does need to fight, though, right? And I do think if she uses salt as a weapon, like, for example, let's say he's going to jump on her and she has the umbrella, but she's not even under it. In fact, it's just salt. He's going to get salt in his eyes, and maybe she grabs the umbrella and stabs him in the ear.
See, and I think if she threw salt in his eyes, he's going to become a rage-filled monkey. And you don't
but where does he attack? Everywhere?
Yeah.
Maybe he gets her.
You remember in the movie It, when the yellow raincoat's covered in...
No, Joel, why?
Stuff?
Why are you bringing that up?
Just saying.
I don't know, Zach, what do you think? I'm just randomly going to the Morton Salt Girl because I want her to stand a chance because salt is a dangerous weapon in the right hands.
Whereas I'm saying this is a monkey.
She's literally the Salt Girl.
An agile monkey who's good at tree swinging.
But she's going to commit assault.
I am not wild about either one of them. Mm-hmm. He's just a monkey. I don't actually like his cereal at all.
What? You don't like Cocoa Krispies or Cocoa Pops or Choco Pops and Choco Krispies?
I don't really like them.
Depending which country you're in.
I don't really care for chocolatey cereals.
Oh, everybody wants those Cocoa Krispies.
And she's legacy. She's been around for 110 years.
She's an icon.
What was that video game where they had the little girl in the yellow rain jacket walking around?
Oh, A Little Nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically her.
Yeah. But she doesn't do much there either. She mostly just runs.
She's just such a young girl. I don't really see how she's going to accomplish anything here. So I guess I'll take Coco the monkey.
Beep, beep, Richie.
Coco.
Oh, everybody wants my Cocoa Krispies.
Oh, this matchup makes me roll my eyes for so many reasons. Okay, we have the Chick-fil-A cows.
From Chick-fil-A.
And the Little Caesars. Little Caesar.
Little Caesars, yeah.
Caesar. He's a Little Caesar.
The powers and skills of Chick-fil-A cows are vandalism and advertising. And the powers and skills of Little Caesar are, leadership, government rule, and a spear.
Yeah, that has pizza on.
Yeah.
So the Chick-fil-A cows are Holstein dairy cows. So they're black and white. And they can read and write, apparently.
Bad
Not
spellers.
very well.
Bad spellers.
But they can, pardon me for them learning, Kent. These are cows that can write.
By the way, this cow, I looked on the wiki, they're delicious and slow.
Let it be known that Joel is welcoming to dyslexic cows.
Please, let it be known.
They are learning.
At least they're trying
their hardest.
I think Little Caesar has a fiery brand at the end of his spear, puts it in the oven or wherever. The cow gets scared. Caesar says extra pepperoni and spears the cow where it's hiding up in a billboard, and you have murder.
I have such angry feelings toward the Little Caesars guy.
Why?
For no reason other.
Is it his chest hair?
That when the Detroit Tigers hit a home run, they're a baseball team, guys. When they hit a home run, they celebrate by holding a spear with two foam like
that's kind of cool
stuffed animals pizzas on it, because they are sponsored by Little Caesars.
And
I hate it so much.
Pizza, because you used to get 2 pizzas in one container. That's why they say pizza.
But you know what I hate more than that? Those stupid billboards.
Eat Mor Chikin.
I hate them.
I like it when it's like there's like a
but they're learning cows, and Joel loves that.
Like a model cow.
I hate that their mascot's a cow.
But it's such a clever thing to like eat more chicken, don't eat burgers. It's funny. But honestly, do you guys know how many Romans were killed by cows per annum?
You look this up?
No. I'm asking if anyone out there knows.
Can you make this up? Okay, yeah.
I'll ask AI. Give me a second.
No, you have dudes with spears versus beef. I'm taking the dudes with spears.
Dude.
Yeah, it's dude with spear.
Dude with spear.
And he's a little version of Caesar.
Yeah. You know what cows would be? This particular type of cow without us? They literally need us to use spears to get the methane out.
Yeah, and it's a meat cow.
It's a meat cow. It's a dairy cow.
2 words. Mad cow.
He's gonna be.
After they're dead.
Look, I just Googled it right now. Cows kill more people in the U.S. annually than wolves do.
What?
There you go. Just saying.
No, I'm rethinking it. There's no industry around wolves. Do you have a vote?
I voted for the cows.
Little Caesar.
I'm taking Caesar. I'm taking the spear.
Yeah, he's got the spear.
Taking the spear.
Cows are so cuttable.
But think about how much more they could have learned, Zach, if you hadn't killed them. They were
so much potential.
Learning.
Oh, they were going to
cut
put the
down
K
in their prime.
The K was going to turn the right way at some point. Oh, the Little Caesar wins.
Pizza.
Now we have the California Raisins
from Sun-Made Raisins.
And Mr. Six
from Six Flags.
So the California Raisins. Didn't he rear-end your car not too long ago?
Yeah, he did. Oh, man.
Patreon.com/Baconsale.
So California Raisins were introduced in 1986 and just became part of the zeitgeist at the time. It was so weird. They have like 4 albums, and their version of Heard It Through the Grapevine hit the Billboard Hot 100. Whereas Mr. Six from Six Flags, he was around from 2004 to 2010. You remember? Kind of scary looking. And he'd drive a bus.
He's an old elderly man with a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Thick glasses.
He's the scary looking one here. This is a terrifying matchup.
Yeah.
I hate it. These are both wrinkly and pruny all over. I hate it.
Question for you guys. How big are the California Raisins?
So it changes.
Okay.
Based on the ad.
How big were they on the TV show?
I'm holding this up. They're about hand-sized.
Okay, that's a big
From
raisin.
what I've seen,
How
they're
big was
about
the
hand-sized.
grape?
Oh, yeah. It'd be huge. I do think Mr. Six is old. I think he may crush one of the raisins.
He appears
old people.
But have you seen him dance?
I know, but it's just when that song is playing.
He's got stamina.
Old people like to eat raisins, right? He's going to eat one, but it's one that has a mini saxophone attached. And he's going to choke on that saxophone, and there's going to be 3 other California raisins.
See, I see the California Raisins are out there, and they're doing their song. They start playing a song.
Yeah.
And what does Mr. Six do when a song plays? He dances.
They're not the Venga Boys.
They could.
They're the Raisin Boys.
I heard it through the grapevine.
I'm sorry. They sing Motown.
I heard it through the grapevine.
The California Raisins would hear Mr. Six's song, and they would just straight up give up because they don't want to be subjected to it anymore. They would just straight up surrender because they were like, this isn't music. We're offended. We're out.
So what does that mean?
Like they're willing to be
They'll
crushed?
just be like, whatever, man. They're cool.
No.
They're cool raisins.
The cool raisins are not going to give up in the face of bad music.
They're easily squished. Have you guys ever stepped on a raisin?
They're going to fight.
And that is one of those times, listener, you've never heard that sentence in your life. Nobody's ever said it
never
before.
Will. They are going to fight for culture, and they're going to destroy Mr. Six and his weird dances and face.
I like his shoes, though. Got good shoes.
You can have him after he's dead.
Mr. Six goes. I think Mr. Six wins. He's got feet. Have you guys ever stepped on a raisin? Have you ever stepped on a raisin?
I hate both of them.
And there's 4 of them.
But I think
there are 4 of them.
I think Mr. Six is tap dancing all over these raisins.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Mr. Six wins. Now we have the Travelocity gnome
from Travelocity.
And it's the Monopoly guy.
His name is Milburn Pennybags from Monopoly.
Famously monocle wearing, right? Right?
So the Travelocity gnome is a 2-foot-tall bearded gnome wearing a blue coat, black boots, and a red conical hat.
He debuted in 2004, whereas Milburn Pennybags debuted in 1936. The skills of the Travelocity gnome, he's 2 feet tall, and he could probably use himself as a projectile. He's a guard norm.
Travelocity gnome.
Yeah. And he has an understanding of world cultures, and he's skilled with tools because he's a gnome. And Mr. Pennybags, Mr. Monopoly, has charisma, business management, and authority over the police. He has his cane and a hotel on the boardwalk.
And money.
And lots of money.
He has all the money.
You know who has money? Batman. Iron Man.
Is Milburn Pennybags Batman?
Yep.
Or is he Alfred?
See, and this is what I see happening is the gnome likes to travel, but anytime you travel around that board, you owe money.
Oh, you got to pay
Mr.
the
Monopoly
piper sometime.
owns all the properties with the hotel.
Get $200 from the bank whenever you pass.
Right after Park Place and Boardwalk, you're dead meat.
I also feel like the Travelocity gnome doesn't seem to be able to move on his own.
Yeah.
He's carried by others, and so I think putting him in a ring with Mr. Monopoly, that's going to end real quick with a swift swipe of the
Easily
cane.
broken.
He's shattered.
Listen, you guys are creative, and I find myself just offering commentary. I actually think the Travelocity gnome is kind of a fun mascot.
He is.
But it's the Monopoly guy.
Oh, yeah.
Come.
Which, even though I love Amelie, the movie, and that's kind of where this traveling gnome concept, and well, before that happened, but they kind of populated Amelie, and then Travelocity got it after that. But beautiful movie, Amelie, but yeah, definitely Monopoly wins.
Pennybags wins.
How did I make it big? I know how.
Now we have the one responsible for me knowing any zip codes in Chicago, Illinois. We have McGruff, the crime dog.
From the National Crime Prevention Council.
My favorite brand. What kind of cereal did they make?
It didn't.
And Colonel Sanders
from KFC.
And McGruff the crime dog is an anthropomorphic animated bloodhound who wears a trench coat, whereas Colonel Sanders is a southern gentleman with a goatee, white suit, and string tie. Now, I'm going to maybe play off Kent here.
Okay.
Because I think Colonel Sanders does have access to hot oil. And
now you're getting... Where does he keep the hot oil?
From the hotel they're staying in.
Yeah, there you go. See, now you're playing like me.
No. And he doesn't have a chicken army along with him, too. And he doesn't... His Freemason... Colonel Sanders' Freemason connections aren't going to help him out here either. Because it's McGruff the crime dog, which is a dog the size of Colonel Sanders, who's obviously got connections to the cops, and his only weaknesses are ringworm and fleas.
But he also is distracted by smells, and that's the wonderful smell of chicken. But he's a detective, so he knows better. And I'm going to save this till later, maybe. He can also freeze time.
What? McGruff the crime dog?
The crime dog can freeze
like
time.
Zack Morris?
And he's going to steal the Colonel's glasses, choke him out in a dark alley.
Where did this alley come from?
In the world where they're fighting now.
Okay.
With the hot oil.
Is Colonel Sanders a colonel?
No.
No military?
Nope.
No. But
well, he was discharged. He was in the military early, and then he was discharged.
Well, Colonel Sanders might not be a real colonel, but McGruff the crime dog is a real crime dog. Did you look into the voice actor at all?
I did. Do you want me to tell the story?
Oh, sure.
So John Morales, the actor who played the crime-fighting cartoon character, was sentenced to 16 years in prison stemming from a 2011 arrest in which police seized a lot of plants.
1,000 green plants.
27 weapons, including a grenade launcher, and 9,000 rounds of ammunition from his home.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
He's a real crime dog.
He did not take a bite out of crime.
But like dog, like D-A-W-G.
Like dog.
Can I pet that dog?
Colonel Sanders, his heart will stop him.
Yeah, he's not going to make it. So I think McGruff. We all agree? McGruff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And help take a bite out of crime.
Okay, keeping the fake military going.
Yeah, right.
Not
No
anymore.
one's real.
We'll talk about it. Captain Crunch.
From Captain Crunch cereal.
And Chef Boyardee.
From the same.
Chef Boyardee. He's a real guy.
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee is a real guy, although his real name is spelled It's a tour, Boiardi. It's pronounced Boyardee, but he actually changed the spelling to Boyardee to help people pronounce it correctly.
He was awarded a Gold Star Order of Excellence award for producing rations supplying Allied troops during World War II.
That's kind of cool.
Isn't it kind of cool?
Yeah.
He's also a sharpshooter. Whereas Cap'n Crunch has stolen valor. Cap'n Crunch isn't really a captain. Sometimes he has one bar. And that's an ensign.
Now.
Sometimes he has 3 bars. That's a commander. Never a captain.
Oh, he has been
he's a captain
made.
Now he's a captain.
Oh, did they finally give him enough bars?
Finally made him a proper.
But these are both elderly gentlemen with white eyebrows and white mustaches.
Mm-hmm.
I see this as a very short battle.
Okay, go on.
I think.
Yeah.
You know that one scene in Star Wars?
Oh, yeah, the boring one?
That one.
The fight scene.
I'm just going to say this. Do you guys know what is inside Chef Boyardee ravioli, the meat ones?
I don't.
Nobody does.
Is it Cap'n Crunch?
It's Cap'n Crunch.
Oh, does it leave a film on the roof of your mouth?
What is that film?
I don't know what it is. But yes, by the way, Captain Crunch, his strengths I have here, known to torture the roofs of his captives' mouths.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
And his weaknesses, gets really soggy in milk.
Okay.
These get soggier way faster than Frosted Flakes.
So what mouthfeel are we going for here? Do you want the film or do you want cuts? Does the Captain Crunch cut through the film?
Maybe. And for Chef Boyardee, I have his strength is cooking and turning his enemies into ravioli stuffing, and his weakness is noodle arms. I just imagine he has noodle arms.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
I don't know.
He can handle stress in the kitchen. I mean, he's like the bear before there was the bear.
You
right?
think so?
He's a chef.
Not all chefs are the bear.
I mean, think of it more, though.
In war.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
What happens to Gusteau, right? He becomes a joke. He's just, you're in the grocery stores now because you're nothing. You don't matter anymore. Versus an actual Navy captain.
Eventual Navy captain.
Eventually. Sometimes commander.
Listen, like Joel said, you got stuff in the ravioli, and that's human parts.
You hope.
And you got the red sauce.
It's not
and
all,
that's human parts.
It's not
Once
all
again,
the
not a
blood.
sponsor, allegedly.
It's not all the blood of his enemies. It also is just like his neighbor's pets.
Whoa.
Allegedly.
Is it weird that I'm hungry right now?
Yeah, I'm going Chef Boyardee.
Joel?
I'm going Captain Crunch.
I'm going Captain Crunch.
Oh, wow.
I will take the fierce razor blades on the mouth.
I just see Captain Crunch more of a fighter.
Captain Crunch wins.
He's more of a fighter than a sharpshooter in World War II? What? That's the worst.
Cap'n Crunch is a tasty part of a balanced breakfast.
And finally, for this round.
This better be a big one.
This is a big deal.
This is our biggest one yet.
Okay.
We have the Sponge Monkeys.
From Quiznos.
Hey, Quiznos. We love the subs. Versus the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Mr. Poppin' Fresh.
From Pillsbury.
Now, hold on. Joel, you correct me on this. Is it Sponge Monkeys or is it Spong Monkeys?
I think it's pronounced Sponge Monkeys, but there's no E, I found out when I looked it up. And these are hairy primates with the ability to hover above the ground. They have a love of fine hats. They play musical instruments.
Like they're basically, I call them like dead muskrats. And they have like googly eyes.
They look like roadkill with like googly eyes pasted on them.
And bad teeth.
And then the Pillsbury Doughboy, also known as Poppin' Fresh, he has a scarf, a chef's hat, and 2 big blue eyes. And he's kind of just a little doughy.
He was created in 1965 by a copywriter who was inspired by a living blob jumping out of a can of Pillsbury. His powers and skills, jump scares. Because the dough popping out of Pillsbury cans.
Jump scares?
Expands when hot.
Open those cans.
And choking powers. And his hobby is giggling and smelling warm baked goods.
Same.
I think the weakness of the Sponge Monkeys is bankruptcy.
Oh.
The weakness of Poppin' Fresh is he's very ticklish, which is silly because, it's like his tummy's always there.
Every time he pokes his belly.
It seems like more of a reward at the end of every commercial.
You think
he does a job and then he gets poked in the tummy.
Well, who doesn't want to poke in the tummy after a good job?
It's like a reward.
So I'm going to listen. I love the Spong Monkeys, but I think they're already anxiety ridden and they die of fright when Poppin' Fresh jumps out of a Pillsbury can. I think that's all you need to go, and then all of a sudden it's there. And the Sponge Monkeys just die of fright. As silly as this battle is.
It's a very silly battle. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this one. Because
Because they don't, other than a guitar, they have nothing to poke him in the belly. Not even a sharp finger or anything.
I guess that's true. I don't know. I just see it as the Sponge Monkeys are kind of gross to look at. And the Poppin' Fresh is so nice to look at that I want him to win, but I feel like the Sponge Monkeys are kind of scrappers.
Scrappers, but like one is just a blob of dough. There's no insides.
I guess, but at the same time, I think he's
probably a shapeshifter.
That's what I'm thinking. Like a little Clayface kind of thing going on there.
Like Clay Fighter?
A leap in logic.
Like Clay Fighter 64?
I don't know. This is a weird matchup.
It's really weird. Listen, I just want this to end. And I have an affinity towards Poppin' Fresh. It's just adorable.
But I think I'm going to vote for Sponge Monkeys because I feel like...
because you worked at Quiznos.
I worked at Quiznos. That is part of it.
By the way, they attribute these to helping the decline of Quiznos, by the way.
Really?
They did not help the company whatsoever.
But quickly
removed them.
But they got a pepper bar.
We got a pepper bar.
If you have not seen these commercials, you need to look them up. Quiznos, Sponge Monkeys.
And you will be horrified.
Yeah. But I'm voting for them because, like I said, I feel like they are... First of all, they're supernatural. They're hovering above the ground. And secondly, they have a guitar that could smash a doughboy pretty easily.
How do you smash dough? It's just going to pop right back up.
Yeah, that's
Smash
the thing.
it, throw it in an oven.
All he needs to do is put his hands, which are just dough gloves, into their mouths, and they're choked out.
No,
I am not...
If you think about it, these face melting riffs that the Sponge Monkeys are creating, they're creating some heat that will then bake the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Listen, they're already dead. Those are already roadkill.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
you can't zombify the argument.
I'm not buying any of the ways that the Doughboy is winning. I don't buy any of them.
No jump scare?
None of them make sense to me. But I also don't know how he's getting defeated.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
He's kind of immortal.
Like, I think there are so many others.
Could chew him up with those ugly
teeth, those big old chompers
that would chew him up. Spit him out?
Are you guys like?
Oh, but then he'll be part of them, and he'll burst through their bodies.
Are you guys weird dough eaters? You guys like eat bread dough?
Not
People
really.
do that. It's bizarre.
Yeah, no, I think he becomes part of them. It's like the Thing.
No, I think he's easily digested.
Ew.
Sorry, buddy. Hoo-hoo. I guess I'm gonna go with the Sponge Monkeys.
Oh goodness!
Said no one ever.
Be quick, the subs!
We love these subs! 'Cause they are good to us!
All right. So there you go. We've gone through 32 matchups for this part one. We'll be finishing this bracket on the next episode. Sorry, we didn't clarify that at the beginning. This is not the entire one.
It's going to be real intense.
Sorry, you have to deal with this for a whole extra episode.
But we want to know if you agree with our decisions that we made on this one. We want you to play along at home by downloading this at baconsale.com and let us know your results and who you think is going to take this brand mascot death match. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know on Instagram because we enjoy hearing from you. That is our love language when you speak to us on social media. But before we go, we'd like to give some love to our patrons, those who help support Baconsale and keep the lights on here in the Bacon Cave. That includes the I Am the Listener tier, which has in it Taylor Sanderson, Some Guy, Sir and Madam Hicks, Shannon West, Scott, R.I.P., Heather O'Rourke, Dominic Dunn, Julian Beck, and Will Sampson Sprague. Poltergeist curse. Ryan and Marley, Rocky and Steph, Lady Terry Finley, Juice the Cooler King Swallow, Jennifer Kilkowski, Casey Cummings, Angela Plotz, and Adam and Rachel Crump. And then we have our Bacon Council, which includes the other Brit, Johnny English, the one, the only Chris Anderson, Stephen, everyone's favorite Ross, Star Wars expert Kyler, our favorite couple, the Madsons, Nicole D. Kale, Her Royal Highness Jessica Terry, Glow Clint Daniel, Debbie Foster, and Beaker.
Thank you, patrons.
Thank you, patrons. You are the most interesting man in the 2R world. But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter. You can find me performing with Quickwits, who perform at the Mid-Bell Performing Arts Center and the studio at the Parker Theater. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quickwits Facebook page.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kenny3DD. You can read my movie reviews at ShowtimeShowdown.com.
If you'd like to connect with me, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Tumbling Mustard. But more importantly, make sure you're following Baconsale. Please like that Facebook page and then go to at Baconsale on Twitter and Instagram. After you've done that, go to tpublic.com/Baconsale and get yourself some merch. And then if you like what's going on here and you want to support us further, visit patreon.com/Baconsale. Support starts at just $3 a month and you can get access to behind the scenes of Baconsale, including the almost weekly Bacon Bits where I confess I have no idea how a calendar works. Patreon.com/Baconsale.
So until next time, I don't always listen to podcasts, but when I do, it's Baconsale. Stay thirsty, my friends.
The Kool-Aid Man is Kirby.
Bird aside, clearly. Okay.
Birds aside. They wrapped him in Ultra Soft.
Yeah, not Ultra Soft.
That would be nice. I would just go to bed.
I am so excited we found a way to talk about supplemental insurance on Baconsale.
A chocolate vampire is definitely going to beat a duck. Julie's Pringles is very good at trapping people's hands. You want to know how I got these scars on my aorta?
I love the crispy triplets.
No, give me the health nut over the Coke addict.
Don't you think Flo is probably like secretly a serial killer?
Oh, arthritis wins again.
You can never kill a Twinkie. No consent, no punch. You know who's not doing elderly abuse? Geico. They're taking care of your elders.
Punchy punches people with permission. Chester Cheetah.
He wears sunglasses.
But my sunglasses lose.
I know.
Oh.
Honestly, same.
There's the joke.
A little late. A little late on the draw there, Joel. Who has killed more actual people? Frosted Flakes or Jack in the Box?
Joel,
recently.
I'd say too soon, but that's the joke that will never die.
You gotta say it. Did I? Did you? I feel like I did. Okay.
Tony the Tiger wins, Joel. Sorry.
Just in case you didn't, that's coverage, Ken. Cut all this out. 3, 2, 1.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna forget.
Look at the Burger King. You tell me that guy hasn't snapped a towel before.
Allegedly.
Not a sponsor.
When the most interesting man in the world is in the room, M&Ms do melt in your hand. The beer dog is going to take out the cigarette camel.
And we're going to talk about beer twice on Baconsale.
And cigarettes. Can't get enough.
Bad spellers.
But they can. Oh, pardon me for them learning, Kent.
Let it be known that Joel is welcoming to dyslexic cats. They're cool. No. They're cool raisins.
But like dog, like D-A-W-G.
Like dog. Can I pet that dog? Scruff, McGruff, Chicago, Illinois. 60652. It's not all the blood of his enemies. It also is just like his neighbor's pets.
Cool raisins are not going to give up in the face of bad music.